Hello from Bali. This is a podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about compassion and let's start with the definition.
Compassion, it's a very useful way of thinking. If you think about just yourself, you think how to be fed up, how to be wearing good clothes, how to stay in good hotels and to eat everything you want. But sometimes you will see abandoned animals, or maybe you will see orphan childs, maybe you will see some injured people, and at this point you should understand that they need some support. If you will work with people who are young, sometimes they will lose patience, maybe they will lose faith, and also they will cry and they will плакать.
Cry.
Yes, and also they need some support because they do not know whom to ask and where to get support. And if you will give them comfort, you will be a compassionate man.
And somehow it's actually reminds me another thing that you said about second battery. So like, you should have one battery for yourself, and then maybe you should have this like a more like an emotional battery for someone else. But when we look at it, maybe from a more systematic point of view, there might be like empathy, there might be, like some, like a sense of, like understanding. So where on the spectrum compassion stands, whether it's on the same surface, or maybe it's like below to one of the definition.
You could be focused on yourself and think about what you need. And at this point, you will say, okay, I need watches, I need car, I need new iPhone, I need something to sleep, to eat, and so on. But if you will look around, you will find even your relatives with comparatively low salary and low way of life. And if you will give them some support, like food, like maybe some invitation to restaurants, or maybe vacation altogether paid by you, they will be happy to have this because they could not afford it. If you will see around, you will find not complete families. Sometimes, for example, policeman was died during his duties and he left two small childs on the hand of his wife and they need support. Or maybe some child have a very severe disease. I don't know how to say, but I support several charity funds and one of them is Line of Life, and they support people with heart attacks. And when I was there, it's really hard to see those children, they are laying in the bed and they have not healthy color. You and me, we are like pink, like pigs, but they are like, I don't know how to say, like blue ones, like Smurf. Smurf, it's okay to say?
Yeah, like a smurfs.
Like a Smurfs. And because they have lack of oxygen in the blood and they have very slow hearts and so on. And if you will spend, I don't know, like 12% of or 15% of your salary, you could help at least one person, and this person would give to our country strength and maybe glory. But a lot of people, they want to walk like a horse in a shores. It's okay to say shores?
Shores, yes.
Like shores, not to see that we have broken trees, we have abandoned people, we have some birds which couldn't fly because they have no strength to fly, maybe some fish which has no oxygen to breathe. And some people who live in a village, they usually help to animals and help each other. But if people become rich, they completely forget about those side of life. Even in Arabic books, there is a story. One man came to wise person and asked him, why rich people never wants to help to poor ones? And this wise man told, okay, could you please look into the mirror, what you see? And asker was saying, okay, I see just myself. And this wise man was responding, you see, just thin layer of silver is enough to you not to see other ones.
Well, I do believe it's quite wise words. And maybe I probably will move into slightly different direction. So, like when you want to feel something for someone or for something, you need to just, like show some of the, like skills or whatever. But then it also comes to your mindset as well, because you need to think more about yourself, but maybe, like you're part of the world. You need to think about the world. You need to think about all of the connections. You need to probably put yourself into shoes of someone else. So what kind of mindset should be? And in order to be able to do this, and then once it's already in place, there's also should be another mindset that actually, I don't want to be an observer, but I also want to be not the taker, but giver. And to give something, you also probably will need to have the resources. That means you need to work hard or do more in order to get those resources and then bring this to those people. So again, like, I do understand it might be like a complex question, but then like, what should be the mindset and what should be the efforts in order to become compassionate person?
I will give you several examples. I'm from a very poor family, and sometimes it was very hard to struggle with life. For example, we were in children's store, and my parents bought me some toy. And suddenly we have visitors, guests, and my mother asked me, "Could we please take your new toy and we will present it to the small boy or small girl? They are guests, so we should give them best." And it was so often. I was Lishon.
Depleted or like deprived.
I was deprived sometimes toys, sometimes watermelon, sometimes a box of chocolate sweets and something like this. And after several years, I understand that there is happiness in eyes if you will give something from you. And the same you will feel if you have small brothers and sisters. Sometimes maybe you want to eat something on to have, but you will give them and you will see happiness, and it's also make you happy. But if you are alone in the family, you will be always given just the best. For example, in Jew families, there is a small trick. For example, if there are not enough meat, for example, chicken, everyone in the family would say, "Okay, I do not like legs." But legs, maybe it's the best part of the chicken, and everyone's want. And children are very happy to hear this. So they, I know how to say, egoist. They are quite egoistic.
Selfish.
Thank you. They're quite selfish, and they never think about other people. But if you will become father or mother, if you will become mother or grandfather, you will be always deprived from something because you should put yourself on the second place. I have a partner, Daniel Schmidt, and several years ago, it was his relative, not direct, but brother came to his family, and he was living in Moscow, and I asked Daniel if he happy to have his relative, and sometimes he would say, "Yes, I'm happy, but it's very strange to have someone other in focus, because this boy, he is young, he don't know where to go, and he has so many wishes. He want to go to cinema, and at the same time you want to go karting, and he wanted to shoot from some guns and so on." And we were running as rabbits to set up those events for him. And it's very strange. When we were alone, we're just living by our lives. But if you have like a child, if you have like a relative from another city, you will be completely sunk under his wishes.
Well, it's true. Sometimes, like compassion could make you shoot your own leg because, like you might be deprived yourself from something that you do not deserve. And let's move our focus from relatives and family to maybe corporate world. Like, is there any place for compassion there, and in which form? And maybe it's also maybe having like a double or triple button if it has.
I remember such a story. My father lived close to the capital of the Ukraine, to the Kiev, and I was visiting him like twice per month. And usually I bring him CDs with video, with movies. And I give him, at this time, it was video named Gladiator. And after one night, I was sleeping because I was tired. But my father was watching these movies. He was always waiting for it because it was time before internet was in any house, in any flat. And suddenly he was making breakfast for me, and we were sitting all together and eating scrambled eggs and something like this. And he asked me, "Have you seen this film?" And I was honest, Father, I have no time to see those films. I just recorded, and maybe I never would see it. And he was thinking, you should see it, because the power is the right to forgive. And I was so astonished. My father is a military man, and he was colonel, and he was always very severe to his subordinates, and he was very severe to me. And suddenly he was thinking that, I don't know, Caesar maybe, who was deciding on the arena, is the right to live or die. I don't know, it was Caesar maybe or something else. This figure was so colorful in film, and my father was telling me, I was struggle in my heart. I want this person or this character or this hero to live. And at this point, I understand that to be compassionate to someone, it's a very important one.
And this moves me to my another question. It might be a tricky one, but I do remember sometimes we also, like looking to maybe the picture of the world, and there might be like a predators and prey. So whether there is a place for, like for person who actually wants to achieve something, they do understand that it will take an effort, and sometimes you need to move over someone's head or maybe someone's over heart in order to achieve it. So for achievers or for people who just want to do something maybe more in their life, how they should play with the compassion, or should they play with it at all?
It was several times I get news that someone wrote anonymous letter about me, that I was offending someone and so on. And each time I was asked, do you want to know who is the author of this letter? And I always was saying, no, I do not want to know. You could decide anything. I'm ready to go to commission for the ethics. For me, it's quite okay. And it was several requests. Maybe you should deal with those people. Maybe you should fire them. And always I was saying, come on, if those people has just as a tool intent to write anonymous letter, they are quite weak. If you are strong, you would never fight with them. There is a joke in Russian language. One mouse came to the lion and asked, let's fight. And lion was saying, come on, I am ready to surrender. And mouse suddenly was asking him, yes, but if I will go to the mice and I will say that you are surrender, I would be like a king of the mice. But what is about your life? How you will feel yourself? And the lion was saying, okay, you could be king among mice, but if I, as a lion, would say to my colleagues and friends that I was fighting with mice, they would think that I am intend to be king of the mice, but this is not my reason to fight.
Well, I do believe it's quite a good answer. Then my last question will be, how knowing about compassion could help to make this world a better place?
I meet a lot of people who never was given nothing to a charity, and I ask them, have you ever seen those people who has no parents? Have you ever seen those old ones who have no people to serve them and to give cup of the water? And sometimes people say, okay, I am ready to go with you. Even this Sunday we will go to hostel, and I will show to two huge businessmen how people without relatives lives, and they already typing me in WhatsApp, okay, it was our intent to go, but maybe you will just transfer our money, maybe it would be enough. And I'm saying, no, come on guys, you should see it by yourself. You will see those people without hope in the eyes. You will smell, you will feel this smell of urine, which is slightly floating in the space. You will see how these people hopelessly look into the walls without any pictures and TVs, and you will understand that you do not want to have such a life. So if you could help to someone, you are blessed one, and this is a good reason to spend your time, your money, and your forces, your efforts.
Well, I believe sometimes in order to have a compassion, we need to have a comparison first. So we review the skill and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.